I'm board sliding it. Oh.
All right. So who am I here with today?
You're here with Cameron Stubbins, co-owner of Squisha House Artisan Glass and Smoke Shop.
Very thankful for him today, letting us film in front. He's been hosting us, having his 6th birthday event here. So, Cam, what makes you happiest in life?
Probably family. Yeah. My wife, Caitlin, my dog, Charlie, both the cats, Holly Molly, my parents. Just family, definitely. Probably makes me the most happy.
Nice. So, obviously being a business owner and in this busy world, how do you find time to spend time with your family and do the things you love?
It's tough for sure. Definitely, it was easier when Caitlin was in the shop more, because then we were just pretty much getting all day, get to spend together. But she's been working outside of the shop more recently, so it's tough. We try any day she has off. We try to make sure we spend it together, and I try to go see my parents as often as I can.
Nice.
But it definitely gets tough, honestly. Yeah,
Absolutely.
It is hard. Time goes fast, so. Yeah.
So would you associate, I guess, family with being fulfilled?
Definitely. Yeah. I think, it's definitely nice to know you have people that love you and you love people. Yeah. And it even extends beyond just, your blood relation family. We got the Squisha fam. So,
yeah.
I mean, everybody. Today's a perfect example. All the people that came out, it's that's fulfilled. That fulfills me in what we're doing. Monetary, money's great and everything, but to see all the people come out and show support, definitely, yeah,
Nice.
It's very fulfilling. Yeah.
So you would probably say the people that you surround yourself with, and not only impact your success but your well-being.
Most definitely, yeah. I'm a strong believer in the law of attraction too. So you hang around people that are only saying negative things and being negative. That's exactly what you'll get. Not saying you can just say I want $1 million and it'll be here tomorrow, but if you have the attitude if you want $1 million, you're probably more likely to get there than the guy who thinks it's impossible, right?
Nice. How big of a part in your life is creativity?
Oh, huge. So before this even, I did warehouse work, but always on the side was creating music or, just kind of, I've always been trying to be artistic, somewhat drawing, and that's kind of what's cool about Squisha House. I get to release some of that with different avenues of merch we do, or even the logo I drew it. It's a play on Squisha House, but kind of came up with the idea of let's do the farce, and we like doing that a lot. We like doing plays on logos, and I get to come up with ideas, skateboard designs, clothing designs, hats. Yeah,
nice. So you're always surrounded by inspiration. I guess that makes it a little hard to get a creative block.
That's true. Definitely. Yeah.
So would you, I guess as a suggestion to somebody trying to be a little bit more creative, would you say surround yourself with a lot of different interests and ideas?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, the more out there you can get, or the more, knowledge, I guess you can get, the better, right? Then the more creative people you're around, the more ideas you're going to have. Again, it just goes back to, I know I'm not preaching, the secret or law of attraction on anyone. Right? But, again, I believe if you have a down or negative attitude, it tends to be you'll attract that kind of people. Absolutely. Whereas if you're a little more positive and, life's not easy, especially nowadays, we know that it's a grind, but if you try to look at the positives, even in a negative situation, or look at the positives, it'll help. Yeah, no, for sure.
When encountering somebody that may not be beneficial to your future, your own well-being, how do you deal with that relationship?
Almost maybe don't, I don't put a lot of energy in something that, isn't really.
Okay, so
I'm not getting the question right. How do you mean?
Well, say you have a friend in your life who just isn't bettering himself and isn't, striving to become better, is maybe he's dragging you down a little bit.
Yeah, if it's a friend or something, for sure you want to try to encourage or help as best you can. I mean, everybody's been, has things that maybe slows them down or takes their attention, or you say you have a breakup, maybe you're going to be depressed for a bit, but you got to get up, dust yourself off, those kind of scenarios. Yeah, for sure. But if it's just an ongoing, just everything sucks, everything's horrible, you don't want to be around that, really. Because then, like I say, that's the attraction. If you entertain that, believe me, hang out with somebody who hates everything and watch how quick you start saying negative stuff. It's just, that's just the way it is. That's how it goes. That's energy. So, just surround yourself around positive, awesome people, and you'll definitely have a better outcome. It's hard to, be angry when everybody's,
Yeah, awesome.
positive and supporting you, and
No, that's very well said.
sure.
This is a little bit different of a question. How would you say marijuana, medicine, whatever you want to call it, weed, how does that affect your creativity?
I mean, I would say it doesn't hinder by any means. I like to think before pre-cannabis, when I was younger, I was always doing creative things, but definitely, anytime I was working on music or you're working on art or something, most of the time you're indulging in cannabis, and I don't find it hinders. And I'm kind of the oddball that doesn't go seeking, sativa for creativity. I'm indica all day. If you want to associate pot with being lazy, I mean, I guess if you just want to sit there and smoke and not do anything, it could stop you from being creative. But if you've got the mindset to be creative in that, no, I think it helps full force for sure. Yeah, definitely.
Do you ever find yourself making subconscious comparisons
Like
to
watching social media and
Yeah, even just to the people directly around
Honestly,
you?
you want to know something? Social media is fake. All your friends are posting a life that they're probably not really living. I don't
Listen
want
to
to say
that.
fully, but you're gonna show yourself in the best light, right? That's just everyone. It's new to us, all of this TikTok, Instagram. I mean, now maybe not new, 10 years, 15 years now, but it's a way for you to create this persona, this person that you're known as on the internet. And I mean, hey, I'm sure there are people who are 100% real. I mean, I try to be on Squisha, but when it's Squisha House, it's what's up, Squisha fam. I mean, it's real. I'm being real, but if I jumped in the video and was like, what's up? Here's some glass, check it out, guys. I mean, it might work, but it's just there's a certain aspect. That's what people want. That's why they're on their phone all day scrolling, right? I mean, if you just showed your bills and your boss was a dick to you today, or nobody's gonna want to be entertained by that. So you're gonna spice it up, I think at least,
No, I think that's very true, and it could be put in different words, but it depends how you want to take it. But what
No
people are
disrespect to
putting
anybody,
are putting their best life out there. That's for sure. You're not going to
sure.
post anything other than that. So
Yeah.
I think that's a good point. And yeah, I don't know. I think that's a lot of what I wanted to cover. Thank you so much for your time.
No, thank you so much, brother.
Awesome, and thanks for having me today.
No, thank you. Take care. Cool, man.
All right, I'm here with Zach. So Zach, today we're just going to be talking about some things that make you happy in life, some of the things that maybe help you pick what makes you happy in life. So what brings you the most joy?
My family.
Your family. Nice. So just spending time with your family, is that like you would deem that fulfilling, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how do you choose how to spend your time throughout the day? Because a lot of the time gets spent looking at screens or say working. How do you put time into what's fulfilling for you?
That's a tough one. It's honestly very difficult to balance, especially because of how spread out my family is.
Of course.
So it's like maybe once or every major holidays when we get together. My immediate family, like I try to spend as much time, but honestly, I don't spend nearly as much time.
So what do you think you could do differently to spend a bit more of your time, making it fulfilling to you?
Honestly, just making the time of the day instead of, because I think I'm guilty of it, and I'm sure a lot of stoners are. We get into our routine of, okay, we wake up, maybe we wake and bake.
Yep.
Then we go to work. Hypothetically, we go to work, and wake and bake.
Yeah, no,
first, right?
of course.
And then we go and we get home. We're tired from work. We go and we take a dab or we smoke a joy or a bowl. And then honestly, our phones right now, 2024, like everybody gets trapped in that. I feel like a lot of people get trapped in that phone. And then you're scrolling, and then next thing you know, it's 2 hours later. You're more tired. You're ready for dinner, potentially. Like you're going for dinner.
Yep.
And then next thing you know, you're having to go to bed because you have to go to work next day. I feel like some people, myself included, until last year, worked 6 days a week, just as my full time, and I was required by my contract.
Yep.
They've recently gave me a 5 day. I think like some other regions in the world, a 4-day work week would be a lot better for family balance, because I feel like the work-life balance, like
Do you find it in your life balance, work-life balance, do you find it important to be creative?
I've never been a very creative person.
Okay, so what does creativity mean to you?
I'm honestly, I don't like artistic. Like, for me, creative is like drawing. Like, if you have like good ideas for like content, like even just coming up with new ideas, like being
Okay, so just producing anything
like,
that you can.
art form, in my opinion. Like,
Do you think if you spent more time being creative as well, that might add some fulfillment to your life?
honestly, potentially, but my whole life I've never had that creative urge, like
Okay.
that urge to go and create
Yep.
something. I've always just been like my own, or like I always had that drive to do something with my time.
Yep.
It just wasn't always creating, if that makes sense.
No, of course. So, do you find the people you surround yourself helps drive you to be, even just more driven, but be more successful, be more creative? Does the people you surround yourself impact that?
I wouldn't feel like they impact that per se, but they do impact my mental state.
Okay.
If I surround myself with a bunch of people who are constantly being negative, or constantly, we like to say in like nowadays, like pocket watching, like just like always like minding, like focusing on what you're doing instead of focusing on themselves and trying to uplift each other, you're just gonna be dragged down. You're gonna be just drained mentally. Like, I was surrounded by a lot of that. I put out a lot of people from my life because of that.
Yep.
I've surrounded myself with people who only want me to succeed.
Awesome.
And that's how I feel. Like, I feel like all I want to see in life is what brings me happiness is seeing people like you, Toasty, like all my homies succeeding. Squisha, when I see them flourishing, it's.
And do you feel when your friends, the people around you flourish as well?
I feel like that, because like if I see them winning, like it makes me feel better. I don't care about if I'm on. I can have. How I've always come up is if I'm eating a steak, my homies should not be eating sloppy joes. Same thing. Like, I'd rather lift up my homies to that level.
Yep.
Where instead of being all the way up here, I'd rather be down here with all my homies growing together.
Awesome.
Than by myself. Being by yourself, and it's a lonely world.
Well, Zach, it is. That's the great way to put it. So. Yeah. Thanks for your time today.
No worries.
And I appreciate the interview. Today I'm here with
Jack.
Awesome. So, Jack, in today's world, how do you find positive and empowering people to help you be more successful? I know it's getting harder. So what's the trick?
Honestly, trick in my life has just been to keep like the circle small and tight,
Yeah.
And like, I'm tight with a lot of people, and I just think the ones closest to you really have like a bigger impact on like your life and shit. So just finding like good people to surround yourself with is really important.
How do you find those good people though? It's getting harder and harder, I find.
Honestly, one that I found in my personal life was my personal trainer through Instagram, actually.
Awesome.
And I didn't even find him. I found him through my mom, but she goes on there quite a bit looking for like positive influences in my life, and she thankfully connected me with him, and now I'm getting into this filming stuff and working out and just trying to be the better me this year,
Awesome. And for those of you who probably don't know, this is who's filming for me here. So,
yes.
Yeah, awesome helping me out.
Mm-hmm.
But do you want to tell the people how we met, coincidentally?
Yeah, so we met at Squisha here. And I think the first conversation we had was over that heat gun.
Going out to events of things that you're interested in, you can maybe find people to interact with.
And similar interests.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's huge, and just finding the people with like the good morals, man. It's huge, and you can kind of tell by the energy of the person most of the time, like right off the bat.
When you say that, can you expand a little more? Like, how are you sensing someone's energy?
Just, I don't know, just based off of like what they say and do, and like their work ethic. And I don't know, it's just kind of something you sense. It's not really something that's like written out in words. It's kind of
Okay.
like reading between the lines, you know?
Interesting.
And,
Nice.
yeah, you see it in certain people, you don't see it in others, but like just the drive for success in life is huge. And like having the drive, like I know smoking takes it away from a lot of people. So like managing your smoking intake, I think, is like a huge part of life. But like there's a balance for everything, right? And I think it's about just finding that balance in life is like huge for a lot of people.
Do you find the people that you've surrounded yourself with in life have helped you become more successful, or maybe in the past held you back?
For sure. Even like myself holding myself back, honestly. A lot of the time it's like a battle in my own brain, and just like struggled with depression and anxiety and stuff like that. And just, yeah, just like getting back out of the house. And like Devin was a huge help. That's my personal trainer. And I got a therapist I talk to. He also is a pretty good help. But I don't know, just finding good supports, I think, is like for anyone is huge when you need them. And surrounding yourself with positive people is a really important thing to do.
Very good. So, just touching on something you talked about there, just little things is like, to some people that might seem like a little thing, but in everyday battles, getting out of the house, cleaning, how do you keep yourself productive and just, keep yourself doing those tasks that most people just don't want to do?
There's a lot of days I don't feel like getting out of the bed, but like someone once told me, like, if you get up and you make your bed at the start of the day, like if you have like the shittiest day ever, at least you come home and your bed's made, right? Like, so just doing something every day is better than waking up and then doing absolutely nothing and you just don't feel good about yourself, right? So like just having the like thought process of like even going to the gym, like there's a lot of days I don't feel like going to the gym, but just going on those days that you don't feel like doing it are the most important days to go do it.
Absolutely.
Honestly.
Do you ever find that like being creative or finding creativity in everyday things that you do can make them easier to do?
For sure. Like I feel like the creative outlet is definitely more my side of learning. Like I want to go into school for like music or arts, or like I'm a big freestyle guy, like any freestyle sport, and all that kind of has like creativity incorporated into it, especially like music and stuff like that. It's very creative, like just like output for me. And yeah, I think definitely like I do get creative blocks. So I guess like sometimes the creativity, it does feel like it's like blocking me from like.
What do you do to get past those creative blocks? Or have you still not kind of figured out a algorithm for that?
Honestly, it's like every day at a time. Like I'm still pretty young, so like I'm still finding like ways to deal with like cope with like the anxiety and like, yeah, like creative blocks, another just negative thing that happens in life. And finding ways to deal with it's really important. But I just feel like meditation and like just clearing the mind and like kind of getting off the phone and just really connecting with the earth and yourself just like really like helps drive creativity for me personally. But I know everyone's different and everyone could have a different thing to
No, absolutely.
unblock their creativity. But for me, that's personally what I find helps most.
Now, what do you feel makes you the most fulfilled?
Honestly, just like doing stuff for my family and friends and like seeing them happy and healthy. And I just want to be my best self, honestly. Like just last few years and like COVID, I've been pretty down. So like trying to just like be better every day, honestly. Just strive for that and hope my family and friends close to me do the same.
Nice.
Like I was saying, surround yourself with positive people. And it's
So-
important if your family's not happy to focus on them and make sure they get the help they need.
How do you deal with relationships that don't particularly align with your goals for the future? Say, you've been working with this person for a little while, but they aren't interested in changing with you.
Okay. Well, like distancing yourself from a person can always be a useful tool, and just let them kind of live their life. And like, it's important to check in on people, of course, but like if they're not being a positive influence on your life and you've tried and they don't want to change with you and you're doing a positive change in your life, sometimes it's best to like leave it alone and like just do the positive change for yourself and let them see that in you. And sometimes that'll drive the other person to be like, oh crap, I should probably be doing what they're doing. Like how happy they are, like how good they're feeling,
Very
So
well put.
sometimes the little distance and just like being a good example can like lead them to want to do what you're doing, you know?
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for your time,
No
Jack.
problem. Thank you for interviewing me.
All right. Today I'm here with
Adam.
Adam. Awesome. So, Adam, what makes you the happiest in life?
Oh wow, that's a great question. Right now I'd probably say cooking. I really enjoy cooking a lot.
Awesome.
And making food
Nice.
and then eating said food.
Nice. Okay. So, would you describe that as a creative outlet in your life?
Yeah, I think I would.
Nice. So, I guess for most people I've been asking, how do you work creativity into your life? So it sounds like you found a way to work creativity into your day-to-day life so you can experience it more, right?
I'd say that's true a lot with my cooking, but like I find it difficult to find creativity in a lot of things and make things from my mind right now. But I am an artist. I went to school for art.
Okay, very nice.
And I also went to school for fashion.
Nice.
So I make clothes and I paint and I draw as well. But sometimes I struggle to find inspiration. So in my food, I am inspired by the taste.
Interesting. So when you're lacking inspiration for things, where do you look most often?
Honestly, for me, I go to Instagram a lot for just like food. Like half of my Instagram is food and the other half is fashion.
Nice. Okay. So do you use Instagram to meet new people as well?
Not typically, no.
No? So how do you meet new people in your life?
Going outings through friends. I find usually I'm a pretty outgoing guy, and I can. I usually don't struggle to connect with people,
Nice. Okay.
and I can kind of make friends when I need to, or where I find myself. I just find myself attracting like-minded people a lot.
Absolutely. Do you think it's important the people you keep around yourself, and does that determine your success going forward?
You know what? I think it will, and I think there are some people in my life right now that I need to talk to about how that is going, because I love everyone in my life, but for my life to go forward, I think there are some people that are a negative influence on me, and I not to diss them, and I want them to do the best in life, but it's probably best to cut some ties.
Absolutely. So I guess my next question was going to be, how do you handle relationships that don't particularly benefit your future or your goals? So I guess you would say you distance yourself or at least you confront them first before distancing yourself.
I want to try and be like the bigger man in the situation, even though you're the one telling them, hey, I'm not trying to hang out with you anymore. It almost makes you feel like you're belittling them, but you're not, and you should probably express that. But sometimes a person won't understand, and you can understand that they won't understand, and you kind of just have to slowly drift apart.
Okay, nice.
And that's that's all right in some situations, because sometimes people just don't work.
No, absolutely. And so, touching on the first question a little bit, do you feel that joy and fulfillment are directly linked together?
That's actually a great question. I think in some ways it could, but I think in other ways no, because some people want to find joy in just the little things, but sometimes the little things aren't little fulfillments. Some people can find the joy in doing dishes because it's something that needs to be done, and they get it done, and But other times, if it's something big, you can go somewhere and see a beautiful sight, and that could also bring you joy. And I feel like that would be more beautiful than fulfilled.
Absolutely. And so, touching on that, do you feel it's more important in your life to find more fulfillment or more joy?
I think joy and fulfillment are both very, they also differ on everyone. I think sees it differently.
Absolutely.
Some
But
people
in your
will connect
personal
it,
way.
and some people won't. And I don't. I definitely do feel good when I feel fulfilled, but I think I can find joy in other things without having fulfillment.
Okay, nice. And now this is a bit of a different question here, but are you ever conscious of the comparisons that your subconscious makes to other people? Do you ever think about?
I do, and I try my best to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I try to think, I'm wow, by me, guessing how this person would act towards what I'm saying, I'm basically judging them before they can judge me.
Nice. Yes.
And that's actually me being unfair to them already before I can even interact with them. So I try my best to show every single person I interact with respect, no matter what, because I don't think respect is something you need to earn something that's given, and like everyone really deserves it. And it's just, I don't judge a character until I've had a chance to interact.
Very nice. Well, that's extremely well put, man.
Thank you. I
I'm
appreciate
talking
that.
to you. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you so much. This is great.
Awesome.
I'm more sliding it. Oh.
All right, who am I here with today?
I'm with Daniel.
All right, right on. So, Daniel, what makes you happiest in life?
Probably playing the bass.
Yeah?
I like playing bass. I'm
Nice.
playing in a band with this guy
Really?
and
Nice.
another guy.
So,
Yeah.
would you say that's your creative outlet?
Yeah, I would say. We're playing around like Burlington, Oakville.
Nice. How often do you guys play a week?
Not that often. We just practice in our guitarist's basement.
Okay, nice. Do you, how do you find time to do that more?
I don't know. I learned time management. It's better. I learned how to do my homework and not not doing it procrastinating. Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay.
So I learned how to do it before, and then I go and I practice with them, and we get better, and then we play in these shows.
So, do you find the people that you've surrounded yourself with has helped you be more successful, happier?
Yeah. This guy's funny. This is
Yeah?
Stupid. And we kind of fool around, but we also get stuff done. So it's we're it's fun, but it's also we get stuff done. So it's like we're friends, but we're also partners in work. You know what I mean?
Nice. Very good.
Colleagues.
Have you had to deal with any relationships that maybe aren't beneficial for your future?
Not really. Everyone's pretty good. We all work together pretty well.
That's
There
awesome.
is some creative dictatorship, when someone makes a song and it could and they want to play how they want it, but they don't want to really change anything. It could be it could be problematic. That's why there's different types of writing songs. I'm not gonna get into all that, but it's just so there could be little arguments, but it's nothing too serious that will bring major changes.
Okay, nice. So, touching on the first question a little bit, do you find that this band, your hobby, music and creation, does that bring you fulfillment?
It does. I really like it. It's really fun to me because I've always been into music. I started playing piano when I was very, very young, 7 years old. And I played it for a while, but I always liked we played rock music and stuff. So I always liked that kind of music, and I especially like playing songs that I listen to.
Yep.
And it improves my skill and also improves my songwriting abilities. It's really good.
Very nice. Do you want to shout out your band at all?
Yeah. So our band is Bad Decision.
Okay.
And Bad Decision Official on Instagram.
Nice.
And we don't have anything out yet, but it's gonna come maybe in a couple months. We're mostly doing cover songs right now, but we're gonna change that soon.
Awesome, man. Well, I look forward to seeing it.
All right, thanks.
Cool. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
You wanna get in? We'll get you in on the same shot. All right. Awesome. So, who am I here with?
Justin.
Justin.
Yeah.
So, what brings you the most fulfillment in life?
For me, I think it's definitely making music.
Yep.
I'm in a band. I'm the singer in the band. But on the side, I also, I'm making my own songs right now. Production, I'm getting into it. And yeah.
Very nice. So, do you find creativity very an important part of your life?
I definitely think so. It's kind of what divides you from other people. I think the more creative you are, the more chances you have of, going further in general, right?
Absolutely.
Because when you stick to the basics, you really end up with the basics. You know what I mean?
So, has the people that you've surrounded yourself impacted how successful you've become and your happiness in general?
Yeah. The people I surround myself with, they're smart people, but they're also stupid, and we do stupid things, and it's fun, right? It's always fun. You want to have a good friend group around you, otherwise you're not going to really experience life properly. Especially as a teenager, you want to go to parties, you want to meet some girls. Having friends around you can definitely help with that, right? When you're alone, some people can rather be alone, but for me, I really like being with good friends. So it's a good time.
Nice. Okay, I like to hear that. So, have you had to deal with any relationships that maybe aren't beneficial to you, and you had to maybe cut the person off?
Everything is beneficial because it teaches you something.
Very, very well said.
Yeah, so everything's beneficial that it teaches you something. But of course, there are situations where, it's not working because, so-and-so, the connection isn't there.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, you learn who you're meant to be with in the end of that, right? You're learning, okay, next time I know when I'm looking for a girl, now I'm gonna know this is what I'm looking for, right?
Okay, very smart. And finally, how big of a role does your family play in your life?
Definitely a big role.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a good family and they support me and everything. And you know, when you have a family that goes against you or doesn't support you, it can definitely make things a lot harder since you have to do it yourself. And you know, when you have your parents, you know, they're older, so they have connections. You know, you could get connected to many things, but without them, not only is it kind of deteriorating, right? It takes you down because it's like, okay, this is my family. They're supposed to be the closest to me, yet I have no help from them, right? So yeah, my family definitely plays a big role because they're great.
Nice. And do they bring you fulfillment?
Yeah, for
Very
sure.
nice. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time today.
Yeah, sounds good.
Awesome. I appreciate your time tonight, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm recording, by the way, so whenever you're
okay.
ready.
Okay. Hey, who am I here with?
Hello, I'm Pink Possum.
Awesome. So, what makes you happiest in life?
I would say honestly, just being around like positivity and people I love and care about is just what makes me happiest.
Nice. So, do you find the people that you surround yourself impacts your success and well-being?
100%, yeah.
So, people that may not particularly align with your goals for the future, how do you deal with those relationships?
I mean, I think everyone that like I have in my close circle, I think that I don't know, like we want what's best for each other, obviously, even if like my goals don't certainly like exactly align with them, I still want what's best for them.
Okay, very nice. Have you had anybody in the past where you've had to maybe cut ties with because...
Yeah, 100%. People have cut ties with me, and I've done the exact same thing, just because we are not in each other's like path of growing, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Not everyone grows apart, but a lot of people do grow apart, and that's okay. I'm still really thankful for the people who've gotten me to where I am today.
Okay, very nice. So, do you find it important to be creative in your life?
Of course. I just graduated from art school, like theater school, like for post-secondary, so I've always been very creative and artsy.
Okay, nice. How do you find time in your day-to-day life to stay creative?
Oh, that's a really good question. Honestly, just going with my heart. Like if anything, I don't know, I want to film or take any specific like pictures or anything for the gram, I really just kind of go for it and let my heart kind of take me there.
Nice. Okay, so you can find creation in everything you said.
Yeah, and whatever my heart really leads me to.
Nice. Would you say being creative and creation is a form of fulfillment for you?
Yeah, most definitely. I think any like art kid at heart is gonna be like, it needs to be fulfilled by their own creation or their own passions.
Nice, well said. So, going back to the people that you have surrounding you, do you have a lot of people who push you to be creative?
Not I guess the close people that I have around me, yeah.
So, does that help you, say, when you hit a creative roadblock or you're unable to maybe decide what to do next? You're stuck and you don't know what is going to make me happy. Can those people help push you?
Honestly, yeah. I honestly found this very soon after graduation. I was like, oh, I'm kind of like stuck at like a roadblock. I am feeling very roadblockish. I don't know how to push myself further. And honestly, it's been the people around me that have really helped jumpstart me into understanding that like I can get to where I need to be when the time is right. And
Okay.
yeah.
Awesome. And so this is touching on a little bit different of a topic, but do you ever find yourself thinking about the comparisons that your subconscious makes with other people, just and everything around you, maybe even people through media?
Yeah, 100%. It's really hard because I feel like a lot of our brains are still really stuck on the like, I don't know, like self-conscious thoughts, and that can really be, what do you call it, like grown by social media, obviously.
Yeah.
And I try my best to not let that get to me, but it still does.
Of course.
It takes a lot of growing. It takes a lot of, I don't know, mistakes and shit to get through that.
So, what are some things like for maybe somebody that wants advice on, because not everybody can even realize when that's happening. How do you deal with that a little bit and help it not affect you?
I found that lately, like understanding that like not everyone can like you, not everyone's gonna be friends with you. Like that's just how it's gonna go. Like understanding that deep down is really important, because then you can see that everyone's their own person, everyone's doing their own thing, but like you don't have to align with everybody.
Yeah. Okay. Very nice. Well, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you. Awesome.
So who am I here with today?
Brian Hassett.
Brian. So what makes you happiest in life, Brian?
Accomplishing something.
Okay.
So every day I set out, I have lists of things to do, and I make sure I do them. So that's one thing. And then once I've got them all done, I can enjoy myself, like watch a movie or something like that. But I've got to have this sense of accomplishment for the day. And then larger than that, it's creating something.
Okay. Very nice.
So, like, for instance, all of the stories I was telling you about on my website, I also have a YouTube channel, so I'll make videos, but it's like creating something out of where nothing existed before. So, you have an experience, and then you write about it and use photos and videos to be able to convey that experience to somebody else.
Okay, very nice. And so my next question was going to be does creativity take a big part in your life, which quite obviously it does. So
Yeah.
How do you balance out your creative time with your free time and everything else so that you don't get burnt out and you always have that energy?
There is no other time than creative time. It's just my whole life. I mean, you gotta sometimes vacuum or trim the hedge or something, but generally I am constantly creating, constantly composing in my head. Like, I see life. I studied drama, among other things, and film now, and I see life as drama. Like, I see that when I came over here to Squisha House today, like the characters who are here, the set, the dialogue, the energy, the impromptu meetings, the changing of direction. In other words, somebody's coming along and doing one thing, and then somebody else comes along, and now everybody does something different, like, which is what drama is.
Yeah.
And so I see life in dramatic sense. And so I'm just constantly composing, either with words or with images.
Okay, very nice. So kind of touching on that topic a little bit, do you find the people that you surround yourself in life with, how does that impact your future and your well-being?
Well, it's essential. I suffer from suicidal depression.
Okay.
I have all my life. And so I had to beat that. And one of the things I did was Tony Robbins and the Landmark Forum, kind of self-help type things. And one of the things is, first of all, I learned how so many people in life have had such more horrible things happen to them than I ever did. And so there's no reason for me to be depressed when my life has been golden. And secondly, your happiness is your responsibility, nobody else's. And so that's something we all have to work on. And so, in terms of friends and people that you surround yourself with, I only surround myself with positive people. And then, generally speaking, proactive, productive, creative people. So that's everybody that's in your sphere, really. And so it's like being in a band or a theater company or anything else. You're constantly surrounded by people creating. And so you're just constantly creating because everybody else is.
Okay, very nice. So in the past, how have you dealt with people that haven't been good for your future and haven't helped your well-being? How do you deal with removing them from your life?
I don't know. It's kind of easy. I joke about, like, in Facebook and Instagram, you can just hit block and somebody disappears forever. And, like, if only life was like that. Like, back when I remember when we were teenagers and at parties, and there'd always be some jerk. And I was like, man, if only I could do that and make that person disappear from the party. But so you can do that in life, and you just like don't respond to people who are negative. They're like, okay, you're negative, and so I'm not going to be interacting with you. And
Yep.
And people who are positive, we're sort of attracted to each other. And so it's like, yeah, did you hear about this? Do you know about this? Do you want to go there? Have you done this? Have you heard about that? And like that just feeds on itself, like the proverbial snowball going down that mountain.
Okay, very nice. Do you ever find yourself making subconscious comparisons to the people around you, especially through social media?
Yeah, sure. I think it's inevitable that people do that. so it's sort of a challenge. Like I know other kind of successful artists out there, and like they'll post something and get like 200 likes, and I'm like, oh, okay, I got to do something that gets 200 likes. So there's like sort of a competition-y thing, but it's all totally benevolent, and it's not about shooting down anybody else. It's just about like chasing the carrot, like chasing the golden chalice, striving to. Every actor and every filmmaker who ever makes a movie wants to win an Oscar. So you're creating the best work you possibly can, because even though it's an independent film and it's never going to even get nominated, you kind of have that in your mind. And so you're always creating the best possible thing you can, both for that sort of imaginary Oscar in the distance, but also because then it has a bigger effect on people. And that's really what you want, is to create something that somebody then says, oh man, that changed my life. Oh man, thanks for taking me to that event. Oh man, you really inspired me. Oh man, that made me laugh so hard. So that's kind of the reward. It's the same thing like when I go to theater, I clap my ass off at the end and keep clapping and jump up for standing ovations, because that's the only feedback those actors get. And so they've worked so hard on this production. Give the only way you can give feedback is at the end by your applause. So give that all you've got, because that's all you can really give them. So that kind of thing.
So you've understood these social comparisons to be drivers in your own life, pushing you forward. So and obviously you recognize that drives other people, and what you do, clapping after a show and things like that, you try and push people through those things.
Yeah, I mean, we've all got to lift each other up, man, especially like creative, positive people, because life is so freaking hard, and it's so hard to make any kind of a living in the arts. And so a lot of the reward for the arts now is in feedback, in people saying, oh, I love that thing you did. And then that has buoyed them a little bit, lifted them up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the thing that you want to do. That's the reward, to help other people, make them feel good, like lift them up a little bit so they get through their next day, and if we all kind of lift each other up a little bit each day, we're all going to get there.
Awesome. That's very well put. And just to touch on something a little bit different, how do you find certain things like marijuana or other drugs, whatever people decide to call them, medicine, how does that help your creativity? How does it affect it? Maybe it doesn't help it.
Well, I love acid.
Okay.
And that really opens up the possibilities of life, and like you see things differently. The big picture, you see the philosophy of life, you see the important things and the unimportant things, but it's also just visually, like you learn to see colors a lot better. So there's that. I remember, and I used to smoke herb all the time like crazy. And I remember seeing an interview with George Carlin. And this was back when I was still smoking regularly. And he said in this interview, when I'm writing a new routine, after I've been working for hours, I might have one little puff just to kind of as a little kick. And I thought at the time, oh, George, what are you lying for? You're smoking all the fucking time, man. But he was telling the truth, and that's what I do. And so I'll work and work and work. Like as a creative lesson for you and all your viewers, I will work and work and work. Okay, like whether I'm writing a book or a short piece, anything, and do it straight. And then I'll have a beer. And then I'll have like a couple of beers, because that kind of puts the hard work is done. It's like you're building a house. And so you build the house straight. And then after the hard work is done, the roof is up, the walls are in, you can have a beer as you sort of put in the windows. And then after you've sort of got that hard job done, and then you can have a puff when you want to paint the walls.
Nice.
So it's sort of a, start straight, and then, because now you've got the foundation laid,
Mm-hmm.
and then you can kind of start to add a little twist to it.
Very nice. As a creative person yourself, For somebody looking to add a bit of creativity into their life and they're just not sure where to start, do you have any advice for them?
Well, just start like say about this that BS term writer's block. There's no such thing as writer's block.
Okay.
I have astronaut's block. I would be an astronaut, but I'm just blocked right now.
That's amazing. That's very true.
Yeah, I'd mow the lawn, but I'm just blocked right now. It's such BS. Just write. And if you play music, just play music. If you want to make movies, shoot film and edit it. There's no magic elixir. There's no magic drug. There's no magic inspiration that's going to strike you like a lightning bolt. You know how Picasso painted so many paintings? He painted paintings. That's what you do. And then a bunch of them will be shitty. And then they'll be like, I finally did it. That's a masterpiece. And then as soon as that's done, you maybe appreciate it for a day or two. And then you're like, I got to create another one. So it's just whatever the medium you're in is, just do it. There is no excuse. There's no secret formula. The secret formula is work.
Incredible. Thank you so much for your time.
Okay. Nice
It's great talking to you.
Okay.
That, I think,